Hey everyone, so this video is going to be about how to create a 360-degree video on YouTube from a still image from your cell phone. Now when I say still image, it's not just going to be like a regular picture. We're going to be making a 360-degree image from your Android device. And I am going to be using an Android device. It's the Nexus 5X since I don't have an iPhone with me. And we're going to be using the standard camera app that comes built into the into Android. Now when you open up the app, there is a feature called image or photosphere. You do want to go ahead and select that one, and that's going to allow you to go ahead and create a series of images of your surrounding. And once you're done, the app will go ahead and put them all together. It's going to stitch them together and create a 360-degree picture. Now from your device, you're able to play it just fine. You're able to use your finger to swipe left and right, up and down, and you'll be able to see the picture of the environment you've taken a picture of. And if you use supported software through your web browser, Google Maps, things like that, it'll play just fine as well. But what if someone doesn't have access to those things? I know if you have an older relative who doesn't use a smartphone, but they're on YouTube and Facebook all day long, this would be the best way to show them the 360-degree image of whatever you took of wherever you were at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and do that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go and take that picture, and then the next thing you want to do is transfer that over to your computer. Now when you open up the image on your computer, it's going to look like a flat image. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stretching on the top and bottom areas, but that's fine. I mean, that's what the image is. There's special information in the image itself that your cell phone can recognize and know that it's a 360-degree picture, but your computer doesn't. And in this case, we are using Windows since that's what I have access to at this point. In terms of software, we're going to be using off-the-shelf software that you're able to obtain on your end. I'll provide a link in the description on where to purchase Adobe Photoshop Elements and Premiere Elements. Now there are other programs out there that you can try yourself. If you already use other ones for like video editing or photo editing, just use those. For example, for most of my videos I use Sony Vegas, but in this case Premiere Elements may be a better option for some in terms of cost, so we're going to use that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to open up the image in Adobe Photoshop Elements. The reason why is that the image itself is not the right aspect ratio. It's more of a squarish shape than a rectangle, and when it comes to videos, they are at a 16:9 aspect ratio, more of a wider screen look. So what we're going to do in this program, we're going to resize it. So you're going to go ahead and click on image, go to resize. There's a little checkbox that you want to check so you can go ahead and change the aspect ratio, and you want to change the size of the image to a 4K resolution image. That resolution happens to be 3840 by 2160 pixels. Once I resize the image, I do want to go ahead and save as a new file. I always like to keep my original files just in case, because if something happens to my new files while I'm working with them, at least I want to know that my original ones are still available for me to redo the work again. So it's kind of like having a backup of your original. So you want to go ahead and save the new image. In this case, I'm going to just add the words or the letters 4K next to that, so that way I know it's the 4K sized image of the original. At this point, we can go ahead and close Adobe Photoshop Elements. It was just a really quick thing. Now, this part is optional depending on what software you're using. Some video editing programs will allow you to go and resize images or video clips within the actual software itself. I know Sony Vegas does allow me to do this, but Adobe Premiere Elements doesn't, as far as from what I checked. I mean, it might, but I'm not too familiar with it, but it might be there. So the next thing we want to do is we want to open up Adobe Premiere Elements, and we want to drag and drop our file from the folder or desktop or wherever you saved it onto the timeline. Now by default, mine made it into a 5-second clip. Now 5 seconds isn't that long. If you were to make a 360-degree video for someone to take a look at or to watch, and they're like panning around, I mean 5 seconds doesn't give them enough time to view everything within the image. Now this is totally up to you on how long you want to make yours. You can make yours 30 seconds, you can make yours a minute. Just keep in mind that if it's too long, the audience may get bored. Now with 30 seconds, I think that's a pretty good number for when it comes to one still image. Now in Premiere Elements, you're also able to add some audio to it. So if you wanted to, if you have a microphone attached to your computer, or if you want to record onto your cell phone some audio and then export it to your computer, you can, and just drop it in here and add an audio clip to your video file. So that way you can kind of tell the person who you're showing this to where you went, what was it, what it was like, if you enjoyed it, if it was your first time there, just give them some background information on why you're showing them that image. Now, if you don't want to record your voice or any audio, that's perfectly fine. You can download some royalty-free music, or if you have some music on hand, you can just drag and drop the music onto that audio track and create like a little soundtrack for your video clip. So the next step is to go ahead and render out our video clip as a video file. To do this, we're going to go ahead and click on File and select Export and Share. Now in the window that comes up, you'll notice on the right side that the resolution is at 1280 by 720. This is pretty much 720p video. You can certainly render this video out and upload it to YouTube, but once it gets converted into a 360-degree video, it's going to look kind of blurry, low quality, low resolution, so we got to change this. So go ahead and click on Devices on the top next to Quick Export. And from there, you'll see some extra options available for resolution. The one you want to choose is 4K Ultra HD, which is, if you were to notice the resolution right beneath it, right beneath that box, it's the same resolution that we made our image. So near the middle, or like right beneath where it says 4K Ultra HD, you'll see a slider, and that's for the quality. It's going to go from low to the middle and then high. Now, since this is a still image, there's no motion at all whatsoever, you can actually bump this down to the bottom, to the lowest, and that way it'll decrease your file size, but still pretty much keep the same quality overall since there's no motion. So once you set that, you can go ahead and give it a file name. So at the bottom, you'll go ahead and put whatever you want. In this case, we'll put in 360-degree video sample. Then you can go ahead and choose on where you want to save that file. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and drop it onto the desktop. The final thing would be to click on Save, and that'll start the rendering process. Now this may vary depending on the type of system you have. If you have an older machine or an older computer, it may take maybe 5-10 minutes, it could be maybe less. And if you have a faster, newer machine, it may not take that long. In this case, I am rendering on an older i7 processor laptop that's maybe around 5 years old or so it's going to take me about a few minutes to render this 30-second clip. And once it's done, you can go ahead and open up the file and play it. It'll open up in your media player, and it'll pretty much look exactly the same as your still image, but you'll notice that it's 30 seconds long. Now we're almost done. The next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and insert the information necessary for YouTube to recognize this video file as a 360-degree video file. So what we need is a special little program. It is free of charge, and it is available from Google and YouTube. You do want to open up a search window and type in 360 video. And the link you're looking for, or the result, would be the one that says upload 360-degree videos, YouTube help, Google help. And if you notice, it'll take you straight to the Google website. So from here, you want to scroll down just a little bit. This would be down to step 2 where it says prepare for upload. Now, whether you're using Mac or Windows, you do want to select the proper operating system, in this case being Windows. When you click on that, it will start the download process, and you'll notice that on the bottom left corner of my browser, it's a very small file. Once it's done downloading, you do want to extract the file, and it'll put all of its contents into one folder. Once you do that, you should notice one file inside of that folder, and it's going to be called Spatial Media Metadata Injector. You want to go ahead and run that program, so double click on it, and when you do that, you'll see 2 windows come up. A larger black one, which may look like an MS-DOS window, and a smaller one called Spatial Media Metadata Injector. Now the big one, do not touch it, don't close it, just leave it alone, and we're only going to be working with the smaller one. So on this one, you want to click on the Open button at the bottom. It'll ask you what video file do you want to inject with the extra information. You want to select your 4K video. Then you want to click on the button that says Inject Metadata. So what it will do, it'll make a copy of the original 4K video file that we just made, and it's going to go ahead and add the words injected to it to let you know that it is the file that has the extra information, and it's going to ask you where do you want to save this copy of this video file. You can put this wherever you want. So once we're done with that, you can go ahead and close the small little program. So at this point, we are basically done. All we got to do now is just upload it to YouTube. Open up YouTube and then click on the upload button on the top right, and then just drag and drop your file over from your desktop or wherever you saved it, and you're looking for the injected file, by the way, not the original, but the one that says injected, drag and drop, and it's going to start the upload process. While the video uploads, it does give you a good time to make a title for your video, add a description to it. Say for example, you went to the Grand Canyon or you went to the beach, put a description on there. If you don't add any narration to it or any audio in the video file itself, you can put in there where you went, how the weather was, pretty much anything you want. And if you do want to make the video public and for others to see, you could add some tags as well, so that way you can put on there Grand Canyon, summer, tourism, pretty much anything, as long as it's safe for everyone to read or find out about. Once your video is done uploading and processing, you should be able to click on your video file and be able to see that it is a 360-degree video of the picture you've taken from your cell phone. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great day.